We're here at the area of JanThiel. The resorts in this area really have a bird paradise in their backyard.
The nature area of JanThiel is a conservation area within the Island Development Plan of Curacao. This is based on both the natural and cultural historical values due to the presence of the formerly used salt pins in the area. The area is definitely important for water and seabirds.
The origin of areas like salinas like this is when during the glacial period, about 25,000 years ago, the seawater level was much lower than now. And at that time, gullies were formed and dug out a lot of the area. After the glacial period, the sea level rose, went up and filled the lagoon. Then in some areas, like this one, the entrance was later closed up by coral debris by storms. This created a hypersaline, a very salty area most of the time. Of course, if it rains a lot, then it gets much fresher.
On a small islet and on the salt pond dikes, common terns and least terns breed from April to August, and many shorebirds will use the shores during migration and winter.
So here we have a total view of the salina of JanThiel. The island right in the middle is a small island where often terns come to breed, particularly because it's inaccessible. So no predators can come easily to, and no people can come easily there. Particularly during the winter time when the migrants come in, you may see a lot of plovers and sandpipers. In the summer, most of them are way up north.
The least sandpiper is one of the smaller sandpipers on the island. It is a dark brownish-gray bird with a white underpart and a streaked chest. It is often found in mixed flocks of other sandpipers of similar size, but then readily distinguished by its greenish-yellow legs instead of black legs on the other ones. The least sandpiper is a regular visitor from its nesting grounds in northern Canada and Alaska. It is seen throughout the year, but with higher numbers during migration and winter. It is seen on muddy shores of inner bays and freshwater ponds where it forages for small insects.
Least terns you can recognize as they're the smallest ones, but also that they constantly flap their wings while flying. Other species of terns may soar once in a while.
Terns are characterized by a white-grayish plumage with a black cap on the head. The royal tern is one of the larger terns with a stout orange bill and black cap that ends in an untidy crest. It is a coastal bird that perches on obstacles jutting from the sea surface and plunge dives after fish. It is the only tern found regularly throughout the year on the leeward coast. In winter, migrants from North America also join. The common tern is also light gray and white with a deeply forked, dark-edged tail. The determining feature of the common tern is its orange-red bill with a black tip. This bird breeds on reef islands, dams in salt pans, and islets in inner bays. They are most numerous between April and November and are joined by birds from North America during migration and winter. The least tern is the smallest tern on the island. It is also grayish-white with a black cap, but it has a white forehead. It has a yellow bill with a black tip. Unlike the royal tern and common tern, the least tern's two largest outer wing feathers are dark and conspicuous in flight. The flight of the least tern is very erratic, and when breeding, will attack any intruder. This tern is also a breeding bird found in loose colonies on coastal rocks, but also on dams and salt pans. They are most numerous between April and September.
There are about 80 some flamingos here. Sometimes the numbers are bigger, sometimes smaller. We just passed through one of the gullies which fills up this area in case of heavy rain. And I mean really heavy. That means that all this area will flood and will introduce a lot of fresh water. Because of that, there will be changes in the ecosystem, and a lot of the normal foodstuff of the flamingos will temporarily die off. And in that case, the flamingos go. They will fly to Bonaire, to other Salinas, maybe even to Venezuela. Flamingos are a nomadic species, and the southern population of flamingos, which mainly breeds in Bonaire, although once in a while also in Venezuela at the eastern entrance of Lake Maracaibo. But their whole foraging area is from Rio Magdalena in Colombia up till the Amazon in Brazil and all along the coast of northern South America. But the main breeding area remains to be Bonaire.
Of course, everybody knows the flamingo, the distinct pink-colored, stilt-legged, long-necked flamingo. The flamingo is a common visitor on Curacao, and you can usually spot them at the salt flats of JanThiel, Yancock, or the Salina of Saint Michiel. But they have also been spotted occasionally in freshwater ponds like the Mausenberg Dam. You will usually find them in shallow waters where they sift through the sediment for various invertebrates and vegetable matter. During courtship, it is easiest to distinguish males from females. The flamingos namely have a courtship dance in which they march around with stretched necks. This is when you can clearly see that the males are larger than females.
In the back there are a large group of flamingo. It includes a few juveniles. Those juveniles are grayish, and they were probably born about 2 months ago, up to 2 months ago in Bonaire, and they can already fly. After about 2 years, these flamingos get their full color of pink or dark pink. They get it through age, but primarily also through their foodstuff, small crustaceans which they feed on in the water. Once in a while we see here a much larger tern-like bird, which is the black skimmer.
The black skimmer is not a frequent visitor to Curacao, but in recent years it has been regularly spotted at the salt flats of JanThiel. It originates from South America. The most characteristic feature of the black skimmer is its narrow, knife-thin red bill with a large black tip. The lower mandible is longer than the upper. This enables the skimmer to literally cut through or skim the water with its lower mandible to collect food from the surface. This skimming causes traction, and that's why it has unusually long wings. If you go right around the pond, you will be able to see the flamingos up close, but also different terns and sandpipers. This area is an important breeding area for water birds and seabirds, so please do not disturb this area during the breeding season. For terns, this is from May to August.